I'm Kathy.
And I'm Tom.
You know, we've been taking care of this lovely pool of ours all by ourselves for the past 10 years. We had an above-ground pool first, and then we put in this one when our family began to grow.
You know, it's amazing how easy it is to take care of a pool once you learn a few simple procedures.
Well, then you know it's done right, and economically.
Well, we'd like to show you the things we've learned about pool and spa care, so you can have sparkling clear water like ours.
Water that protects you, and water that protects your pool and spa, and your investment in them.
Now, this video is an electronic guidebook.
There's a separate chapter for each pool care topic, and a separate chapter on spa care. Each chapter is color-coded and numbered, so you can find it and review it easily on your VCR. We'll give you complete pool care know-how, good for whatever type of pool you have. In-ground, above-ground, vinyl, or concrete.
One important thing first. We all know there are many varieties of pool chemicals on the market. Kathy and I have tried a lot of them. But since we switched to HTH dry chlorinator and HTH products, our pool water has never looked so sparkling clear or felt so clean and refreshing.
You see, we trust the HTH name. It's been around for over 60 years. In fact, we found out more pool owners like us use HTH than any other brand.
We think that's important. This is HTH granular. And HTH also comes in this tablet form for those of you who use tablets.
We use the granular. Oh, that's the most popular, too. You even get this free scoop to apply it with.
Now, there are also what we call stabilized forms of chlorine sanitizers on the market.
Stabilized means they contain cyanuric acid.
You may have heard of stabilized sanitizers or even used them, like these.
But we found HTH does the best job for us. Now, pool chlorines are not all the same chemically, though, so it's very important never to mix different types of chlorine sanitizers.
The main thing, though, is to keep a clean, sanitized, sparkling clear pool.
That's right. And HTH products include everything you need for your pool, and even your spa. pH adjusters, algicides, pool and spa maintenance products, and mechanical cleaning equipment like brushes and vacuums.
Cannonball!
That's our neighbor, Cannonball Klutz.
Oh, come on, Tom. It's not nice to call him that. His name is George Klutz.
Hi, neighbors.
Hi, George.
Hey, see that cannonball?
Yep, perfect form, George.
What's the matter with your eyes?
They always burn like this after I dunk in my pool.
They shouldn't, George. That means you haven't been keeping your pool water's chemistry balanced properly.
Oh, well, sure I do. I throw a gallon of chlorine bleach in my pool every once in a while. That ought to do it.
Not by a long shot, George.
Stick around, George. We're just about to demonstrate everything you need to know. You see, keeping your pool sanitized, clear, and comfortable is a matter of water chemistry.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, and there are certain basic water chemistry conditions for every pool that have to be watched and adjusted regularly so they stay in proper balance.
And when they are, your pool water will be good for you and good for your pool. Well, that's what pool care is all about, okay?
No kidding.
That's right, George. Well, I think we're just about ready to begin.
Right.
Shall we?
Oh, hang on, George. We're going to turn the page to Chapter 1.
Huh? Hey. Oh, hey, wait a minute. What's this? Hey, whoa!
The first step in taking care of your swimming pool is to make sure that the circulation and filter systems are working properly.
Otherwise, your water chemistry can't work effectively.
That's right.
And, more importantly, you'll be wasting time and money. So before you begin, check your pump and make sure the water's circulating adequately. Just follow the manufacturer's directions.
Then check your filter. It screens insoluble particles from the water. There are 3 types: cartridge, sand, and diatomaceous earth, called DE.
They all do a good job. But whichever type yours is, make sure it's working efficiently. Check the pressure gauge regularly. If the pressure's too high, that'll tell you the filter needs a cleaning. If you have the cartridge type filter, here's the way to clean it. First, turn off the pump and release the air pressure. If your filter has a drain, open it to empty the water. Remove the top knob and take off the dome. Then remove the cartridge. It's usually a polyester material. Hose it off thoroughly with a high-pressure nozzle. Be sure to clean deeply into the element pleats. It should return to a white color like this. If you can't get it really clean, soak the cartridge in a solution of trisodium phosphate. That should help. or replace it if you can't get it clean anymore.
The way to clean both sand and DE filters is called backwashing. You simply reverse the flow of water through the filter medium that traps dirt and debris from your pool water, and that flushes out and cleans the filter. Now here's the way to do it. This is a sand filter. Turn off the pump. Turn the filter valve to backwash position. Roll out the waste hose or open the waste valve, whichever your filter has. Turn on the pump and let the system backwash for 1 minute or until the wastewater runs clean or the sight glass is clear. Switch off the pump. Turn the filter valve to rinse position. Turn the pump back on and let it run for 30 seconds. This clears out any debris that may still be in the lines. Turn off the pump. Turn the valve to filter position and turn the pump back on. Normally, sand should not need replacing for several years.
A diatomaceous earth, or DE filter, uses DE powder as a filter medium instead of sand. After backwashing a DE filter, you have to pre-coat the filter. We use HTH Filter Aid diatomaceous earth. With the pump running, just pour the right amount for your pool pre-mixed into the skimmer. Follow the label directions to get the proper dosage for your pool. That recoats the grids and lets them filter efficiently again. And that's all there is to it.
Oh, just one thing more. Some of you may have what's called an extended cycle bump DE filter. This type does not require backwashing. It can be restored to an almost clean condition by regenerating. To do this, first, turn off the pump. Move the bump handle down slowly and up sharply 4 to 6 times. Then switch the pump on again. Do this whenever you're not getting maximum flow. Eventually, within 3 to 10 weeks, the filter will need cleaning and a fresh supply of DE powder. When that happens, simply turn off the pump and bump the filter, this time 6 to 10 times. Now open the drain valve and air intake valve and let all the dirty DE and water drain out. After that, close the valves, switch on the pump again, then add HTH DE Filter Aid as before. The amount is indicated on the filter label.
Okay, now your circulation and filter systems are ready. But there's one more important piece of information you need to know before we can test and adjust your water's chemistry.
Right. You have to know how many gallons of water there are in your pool to determine the proper chemical dosages.
Hi, neighbors.
Oh, hi, George.
Say, I'm having a pool party. Want to come on over?
Sure, George.
George, what's the gallon capacity of your swimming pool?
Oh, well. The what?
How many gallons of water does your pool hold, George?
Well, gee, I don't know. Well, what's the difference? It's big enough.
I know, George, but to find proper chemical dosages to adjust your water's chemistry, you have to know how much water there is in your pool.
Oh, well, I don't know. I just take a good educated guess, I guess.
Well, George, we've got something that will help you and everyone find their pool's gallon capacity. It's this chart that comes with our video cassette. It shows you an easy formula to calculate gallon capacity for each basic pool shape: rectangular, square, oval, or round.
Gee, that's neat. Hey, thanks for the tip. Let's see now. The depth plus the width times E equals MC squared. No, the hypotenuse.
Water chemistry and water treatment are the same for all types of pools, in-ground or above ground, vinyl, fiberglass, or plaster. And keeping the right chemical balance in the water is extremely important for you and your pool.
And that means first, testing the water in your pool. This will tell you what chemicals you then have to add to get those right conditions.
There are 4 main factors we can adjust. pH, that's how acidic or how basic your pool water is, free available chlorine, total alkalinity, and calcium hardness.
The free available chlorine in proper range keeps the water sanitized and controls algae. That's good for you.
The total alkalinity keeps your pH from changing rapidly, while the calcium hardness helps prevent corrosion and scaling. That's good for your pool. Okay, now we're going to show you how to test your water for these key factors and how to adjust your water's chemistry if necessary. Now, to start, it's important to have a good test kit.
We use a professional HTH DPD test kit like this. It lets you test for pH, total alkalinity, calcium hardness, and most important, free available chlorine.
Be sure your test kit reagents are fresh. We replace them every season. Otherwise, you may not get accurate test results.
Okay, the pH of your pool water, or any liquid, tells you how acidic or how basic it is. Now, you have to keep your pool's pH at just the right point between acidic and basic. Then, and only then, is it good for swimmers, and good for your pool. Here's a little balance scale. On this side, we have lemon juice, and on this side, lye. Now, we all know that lemon juice is acidic and that lye is alkaline, or basic. This scale represents water with a pH range of 1 to 14. When the balance is even, and the indicator at 7, right in the middle, the water is neutral, neither acidic nor basic. When the pH is between 1 and 7, the water is acidic, and when it's between 7 and 14, it's basic. Your pool water should be just a little on the basic side, between 7.2 and 7.6. We'll add a little more lye to this side to show you. There. Now that's where your pool water's pH should be when you test it, between 7.2 and 7.6. And what I did to get it there is pretty much what you do to your pool water for the same reason.
Keeping the proper pH is absolutely necessary for swimmers' well-being and comfort. If pH is too high or too low, eyes may burn like George's, skin feels dry and itchy, and your chlorine sanitizer isn't as effective as it should be.
Jemima, hey, wait, come on, Jemima. Oh, I guess Jemima just wanted to come and play in your pretty pool.
Jemima Puddle Duck, I suppose.
No, a pool duck.
Oh, George.
George, pools are for people.
Oh, well, I just, go home, Jemima.
We're just about to test our water to be sure its chemistry is in proper balance. You want to help?
No problem.
George, not that way. Knowing the temperature doesn't mean much unless it's very extreme, and then we can't do much about that anyway.
Well, what then?
Well, stick around, George, and you'll see. All right, now here's how to test your water's pH. Test as far away from the return jets as you can. First, rinse out the tube a couple of times in the pool water. Then turn the tube upside down to trap air in it, and reach it down into the water as far as you can. Right up to your elbow is a good way to measure. Turn the tube up to fill it and bring it out. You may have to shake some water out so the level comes just to the upper mark. It's important to take the water as deep as you can.
Now, add 1 drop of solution number 4. Hold the bottle straight up and down and add the drops slowly to be sure you get a full-size drop. Otherwise, your test results may not be accurate. Okay, put the cap on and swirl to mix it. Always use the cap, not your finger. There may be something on your finger that can spoil the test results. Next, add 5 drops of solution number 2. Put the cap on again and swirl to mix. Now, we'll compare the color of the water in the test tube with the pH color standards here between the tubes. You can use the reverse side of your instruction card as a backing so you can read the colors accurately. And always read colors in the shade, not out in the bright sun. We've got an 8.0. That's too high, so we'll have to lower our water's pH.
By the way, after you've finished, it's best not to pour any test water into your pool or on your deck. Okay, now when our pH is too high, we use HTH pH minus adjuster to lower it.
George, hand us those gloves and safety glasses.
These? What for? You'll frighten the goldfish.
Goldfish? Oh, George, we haven't... George, you don't. Not in your pool.
Oh, just 2 little, Oh, I know. Pools are for people.
Anyhow, George, it's always best to use rubber gloves and safety glasses whenever you're handling chemicals.
First, check the label to get the proper dosage for the gallon capacity of your pool, and then just scatter it over the water at the deep end of your pool, like this. Broadcasting gives you good distribution and quick dissolving. When you broadcast chemicals, always do it at the deep end and keep the circulation system running.
It's a good idea to test for pH once more the next day and apply HTH pH adjuster again if necessary. Now, muriatic acid is a liquid some people use to lower pH, but it's messy and dangerous, and we don't recommend it. Well, now, if your pH tests too low, say 7.0, we use HTH pH plus adjuster.
Just broadcast the right amount for your pool according to label directions.
Okay, now the second step to protect people is sanitization.
Your pool is properly sanitized when you have the right amount of free available chlorine in your water.
Right. That's the chlorine we want in our pool at all times, because it's the chlorine that's free to fight bacteria and algae. It sanitizes your water and helps keep the pool clean and fresh.
On the other hand, there's combined chlorine, called chloramines. That's chlorine that's combined with other things like perspiration, suntan lotion, deodorants brought in by swimmers.
Yes, you sweat even when you're swimming.
Well, combined chlorine, these chloramines, they're the gremlins that cause eye and skin irritation and that strong chlorine smell that's often confused with too much chlorine.
That's right. When your pool smells like chlorine and your eyes burn, that's actually due to an excess of chloramines, not too much chlorine.
The solution is to add more chlorine. In fact, to superchlorinate your pool.
Now we use the small tube on our DPD test kit. Rinse it thoroughly in the pool water. Invert the tube to trap air. Reach down deep, about 18 inches, or up to your elbow. Turn the tube up and bring it out. And adjust the level to the mark on the tube. Be sure the curve of the water is on the line.
Now we add 1 DPD tablet to the water. Be sure you don't touch the tablet with your fingers. That might contaminate it and spoil your test results. Put the cap on the tube and invert it several times to dissolve the tablet and mix the chemical with the pool water. There. Now we put the white card behind it and compare the color sample with the color standards marked chlorine. Don't take longer than 2 minutes to read your test results because the color may change. You see where the colors match? That's about 0.6 parts per million. A little on the low side, so we'll have to raise it.
Parts per million? What's that?
It's just a measurement, George, like 1 person in a city of 1 million people.
Or 2 ounces of HTH in our 20,000-gallon pool. Okay, now there's another test for chlorine. And this might be the one you have in your kit.
Here's the other type. It uses OTO drops instead of the DPD tablets we just showed you. We fill the tube with pool water, same as before. Next, we add 5 drops of OTO. Hold the bottle upright to get uniform drops. Cap and swirl. Now keep it in the shade for 30 seconds until the color stops deepening, and then compare it to the color chart to see if you have an adequate level of chlorine in your pool.
Right. Now, the thing you have to understand about this test is that it gives you only the total chlorine in your water, not the free available chlorine level. If you use your pool regularly, it's important to test with a DPD test kit. However, if your pool gets only occasional use, the OTO type test kit is okay for you. Free available chlorine for all chlorine sanitizers should be between 1 and 3 parts per million, regardless of which sanitizers you use.
Okay, now our test shows a level of 0.6 parts per million of free available chlorine in the water. That's too low, so we'll have to raise the level in our pool. And we'll use HTH granular dry chlorinator to do it.
Now add your HTH granular sanitizer to the water by just broadcasting it into the pool at the deep end with your water circulating.
Now you could also put HTH tablets in the skimmer basket or in a clean floater that has never been used for any other pool chlorinating chemical. Don't throw tablets into your pool, though, or you'll get stains on the bottom.
If you're using stabilized chlorine tablets or sticks, you put them in the skimmer or in a floater or a feeder. But remember, they're different from HTH tablets. Never mix stabilized chlorine products with HTH granular or tablets. Don't leave any residue of stabilized chlorine in the skimmer, floater, or feeder when you're adding HTH tablets to it. Never add HTH tablets to a feeder that has just held a different pool sanitizer. It might explode.
And always have your circulation system running. Now here's a tip. Rain, periods of very hot, sunny weather, or heavy use of your pool make it important to superchlorinate your water to keep it properly sanitized and fresh.
In the hot summer months, besides your regular chlorination, you should superchlorinate your pool every 1 or 2 weeks with HTH for extra protection. Okay? Now here's how to do it. First, check and adjust your pH to 7.2 to 7.6. Then, with the filter running, just add 1 ounce of HTH dry chlorinator per 1,000 gallons of pool water. Remember, the level of free available chlorine should be between 1 and 3 parts per million before you go swimming again.
Here's another tip. It's best to add HTH dry chlorinator in the evening. because sunlight tends to burn off or break down the chlorine, leaving less free available chlorine to sanitize your pool. All right, now let's move on to the third key pool water factor, total alkalinity.
Total alkalinity is a pH buffer, like taking a bicarb for your stomach. At the right level, it helps keep your pH from bouncing out of proper range. And if total alkalinity is too low, it's difficult to maintain the proper pH, and it goes up and down like a yo-yo.
Or if total alkalinity is too high, pH again is hard to adjust, and cloudy water gets to be a real problem. But at the proper level, total alkalinity helps keep the water's pH within the range that we want it.
Besides that, total alkalinity helps protect your pool, along with calcium hardness that we'll talk about later. So total alkalinity is a key player in the water balancing act. It's a good idea to test it weekly to keep the proper level.
The ideal range for total alkalinity is 60 to 100 parts per million when you use HTH dry chlorinator as your primary sanitizer.
Or if you use a stabilized chlorine sanitizer, the proper range is 90 to 125 parts per million.
Remember, your pH must be at the proper level, 7.2 to 7.6, before you do any other testing. Okay, first rinse thoroughly. Invert the tube and dip well down into the water, up to the elbow. Turn it up and bring it out, and adjust the water so it's even with the line marked alkalinity. Now we add 1 drop of solution number 4, holding the bottle straight up and down, cap, and swirl to mix. Then 2 drops of solution number 5, swirl it, and finally add solution number 3, by drops, swirling between drops and counting the number of drops we add until the color changes from blue-violet to a permanent clear or yellow. We added 8 drops. We multiply that by 10 to get the total alkalinity of our water. That makes ours 80 parts per million, right where we want it.
If total alkalinity is too high, simply add HTH pH minus in one area at the deep end of the pool according to label directions. Repeat it daily until your total alkalinity test shows you've reached the proper range. Now be careful to check your pH first, and don't let it get below 7.2.
Now, if your total alkalinity is too low, just add HTH Alkalinity Plus adjuster to your pool. Follow directions on the label for proper dosage, and scatter it over the water at the deep end of the pool, always with the circulation system running.
Now let's move on with our fourth key factor in pool water chemistry, calcium hardness. It's extremely important for the well-being of your pool.
Calcium hardness is the amount of dissolved calcium ions in your water. A low calcium hardness level can result in corrosion of any metal pool equipment and pitting in plaster pool walls and bottom. Like hungry water gremlins digging holes to get more calcium. Or at too high a level, they'll dump excess calcium carbonate, which makes cloudy water that can cause scale formation in your pool.
Contrary to popular belief, calcium hardness is actually good for your pool in the right amount. The ideal range, if you use HTH dry chlorinator, is a minimum of 200, but it could go up to 1,000 parts per million depending on water conditions in your area. But if you use a stabilized chlorine sanitizer, the recommended range is 200 to 500 parts per million. Now the test. For this one, we use the tube marked calcium hardness. Rinse the tube, invert, and get it elbow deep into the water. Turn it up, and adjust the water so it's right to the marked line.
Now add 2 drops of hardness solution number 1. Cap and swirl to mix it. We'll get a violet color if there's calcium hardness in the water. See? Now we add calcium hardness solution number 2, drop-wise, one after another, counting until the color changes to a permanent blue. And finally, we multiply the number of drops by 50 to get our calcium hardness in parts per million.
We added 8 drops, so that's 400 parts per million. Not bad.
It's best to do this test at least once or twice a season. Now, if your level is lower than 200 parts per million, add HTH Calcium Plus adjuster according to directions. Remember, water is always trying to satisfy itself, and it'll try to take whatever it needs from wherever it can get it, or get rid of what it doesn't need wherever it can, and that means pitting or scaling that damages your pool.
However, if the calcium hardness level remains too high, like above 1,000 parts per million for HTH dry chlorinator users, or 500 parts per million if you use a stabilized product, and you can't lower your pH and total alkalinity anymore, there's only one thing to do. You must carefully drain a small amount of water from your pool, 3 to 6 inches, and refill it with water that has a lower calcium hardness level, typically tap water.
Now, if you live in a high alkalinity area, like parts of the Midwest or areas of Florida, and you use HTH dry chlorinator, be sure to test carefully and avoid letting the alkalinity level get too high.
But if you live in a soft water area, like one of these, you must be extra careful to keep your total alkalinity and hardness high enough and in the proper range.
You know, it's a common misunderstanding that calcium hardness or calcium-based sanitizers like HTH are the cause of cloudy or milky water. Actually, this isn't true. It's really high alkalinity or high pH that causes calcium to precipitate out into your water as calcium carbonate. And that's the cloudiness you see. Look, here's a demonstration. Here are 2 beakers of water. In this one, total alkalinity is too high. In this one, the water is perfectly balanced. Now, we add HTH dry chlorinator to this one with high alkalinity. And see? It turns milky. But when we add the same amount of HTH to the balanced water, nothing happens. It remains perfectly clear. Which shows that if you add HTH dry chlorinator to your pool and the water turns milky, your water isn't properly balanced and you need to test again and rebalance your water's chemistry.
Now, there's one other test you should know about. If you use what's called a stabilizer or conditioner in your pool, or a stabilized sanitizer like Pace or Sunbrands, you should test periodically for cyanuric acid level. You'll need a special cyanuric acid test kit like this.
Here are a couple of important tips about applying chemicals. Try to perform the tests in the order we've given them to you. When you have to apply different chemicals to your pool, wait half an hour after adding one before you apply the next. And leave your pump running 4 hours after adding chemicals. That's it. Except, uh-oh.
George, what's this all about?
I got the message, folks. Pools are for people. Want to buy a duck?
Just turn the page, George.
You've seen how important it is to test your pool for all those properties in the water you can't see. pH, free available chlorine, total alkalinity, calcium hardness.
And it's really important to your health and your pool's health to keep those invisible properties correctly balanced.
Otherwise, things happen in your water that you can see, like cloudy water, colored water, algae growth, and that chlorine smell. Remember, it's not your chlorine sanitizer that's causing the problems. It's all those other things that need adjusting to put them in proper balance.
You see, your water can be affected by a whole lot of different factors. Rain, hot sunny weather, lots of people swimming, wind-blown debris and related algae bloom can use up chlorine, affect sanitization, and make swimming less enjoyable.
So it's especially important to keep your pool in proper balance during a long pool season.
And if algae develops, making your water green and feel slimy, special treatment is definitely needed. You have to have enough free available chlorine in your water to control algae, destroy unfiltered organic contaminants, get rid of odors, and make your water sparkling clear.
So here's a simple, solution if things do get out of hand. It's called shock treatment. We do it every 1 or 2 weeks, and even more often during the very hot months of the summer.
To shock treat your pool, first adjust your pH to between 7.2 and 7.6, the way we showed you in Chapter 2, using your test kit and HTH pH adjusters.
Then we add this to our pool, Socket. We've been using it for over 10 years. Apply it at the rate of 2 ounces per 1,000 gallons of water with the filter running.
Just broadcast socket over a large area of the pool surface, always at the deep end, like this. And preferably in the evening, so the chlorine gets a chance to mix with the water before the sun can attack it. But wait until the free available chlorine level is below 3 parts per million before you go swimming again.
Oh, darn. Rats.
Gee, what's with George?
What's the matter, George?
Oh, look what happened to my pants. I got the chlorine bleach out to zap my pool and...
Well, George, some people do use plain liquid chlorine bleach to shock treat their pool.
Oh, but we like Socket much better.
Oh, yeah, you were telling me about that before, but you never said why. How come?
Well, liquid bleach is only 10% free available chlorine. Now, that's not very much help for your pool.
In the sun, it even gets weaker.
On the other hand, Socket is 6 times more powerful. 65% free available chlorine.
And on top of that, bleach is messy. I mean, look what happened to your pants, George.
Yeah, my wife will kill me. Well, I guess I'll sock it to it from now on.
Look, 1 pound of socket is almost the same as a whole gallon of bleach, and it goes a lot farther.
We use this 5-pound size. It saves a little money.
So remember, if you have extreme weather, heavy pool use, or related algae, you need to shock treat your pool with socket to get the water clean and sparkling clear again.
Okay, George.
Oh, I know. Turn the page.
You know, while all the HTH brand products we use are designed to prevent problems, sometimes even with regular pool care, problems can develop.
Like cloudy water, colored water, stains spoiling your pool's clean appearance, scale forming on the walls and bottom.
And of course, worst of all, algae. Well, we use HTH products that deal with those problems too, and we've got some tips to help you solve them.
Let's start with cloudy water. Now, that's a very common one. It can be caused by a number of different factors, like poor filtration, swimmers carrying perspiration and suntan lotion into the water, too high a pH and total alkalinity level in your water, or algae bloom.
Okay, now to get rid of cloudy water, first, balance the water. Check pH and total alkalinity and adjust pH to 7.2 to 7.6 and total alkalinity to between 60 and 100 parts per million. Be sure it's never more than 100 parts per million on an HTH sanitized pool.
If these are okay, check the free available chlorine. If it's low, adjust to 1 to 3 parts per million. Now, chances are that'll do it. Now, if your cloudy water has a green appearance, it may be algae that's the problem.
In that case, shock treat your water with socket according to label directions.
And if the cloudy water still persists, check to see if your filtration system is working properly. You may need to run the filter longer each day.
Oh, and here's another tip. HTH Clarifier will help your filter take out fine particles in the water. It's designed to enhance pool and spa filtration efficiency by trapping small particles that might otherwise pass through the filter.
Then there's colored water. Sometimes your pool can appear reddish-brown, green, blue-green, or any combination of these.
Colored water is usually caused by dissolved metals in your pool. There are 2 ways to take care of that. First, as usual, check the pH and adjust to 7.2 to 7.6 range, and then superchlorinate with HTH at the rate of 1 ounce per 1,000 gallons of water. Continue to run your filter until the water is clear and free of color. Now, if the color still persists after 48 hours, use HTH stain and scale controller. Add it directly to your pool with the pump running. Follow label directions carefully.
Again, check to be sure your filter is working properly, too. It will help prevent dissolved metal in your water from staining the sides and bottom of your pool. Check your pH and readjust to 7.2 to 7.6 if necessary. Now, you may have to vacuum up the colored residue from the pool bottom to prevent staining.
All right, now, how about stains? They're another bothersome problem for pool owners. Stains, too, are usually caused by metallic substances like iron dissolved in the water. If this happens, the best solution is to superchlorinate your pool and vacuum the precipitated metals right away.
If your pool water is too acidic...
Oh, that's low pH, remember?
It can dissolve any metals from your equipment that can appear as stains on the walls of your pool. Adjust the pH to 7.2 to 7.6 and use HTH stain and scale controller to prevent and get rid of stains.
Apply the proper dosage for your pool in the area of each stain. Keep the circulator running and make sure the filter's clear and working efficiently.
What it all boils down to is keep your water's pH and total alkalinity at proper levels by testing routinely and adjusting the water chemistry according to what the test results tell you.
Well, now, about scale. Okay, those are the deposits, usually white or gray or brownish, and then the result of too high pH, total alkalinity, and calcium hardness in your water. Now, to prevent scale formation, keep the pH between 7.2 and 7.6 and the total alkalinity between 60 and 100 parts per million if you use HTH dry chlorinator, and keep the calcium hardness between 200 and 1,000 parts per million.
When you use a stabilized chlorine sanitizer, your total alkalinity should be between 90 and 125 parts per million, and your calcium hardness between 200 and 500 parts per million. And remember, if the water hardness is high in your area, keep the pH and total alkalinity on the low side, and vice versa.
Well, then you can use HTH stain and scale controller for added protection against scale formation. Use it the way we've just told you for colored water and stains, and follow those directions on the label for your size pool.
Hi, neighbors.
Hi, George.
I just found something peculiar in my pool. Maybe you could tell me what to do about it.
What is it, George?
Oh, well, I don't know. It was on my steps and then part of the wall in the shallow end, and it's a kind of greenish, yellowish, and then kind of slippery, and it seemed to be spreading across the...
Know what, George?
You've got yellow mustard algae.
I do?
You do.
Well, what is it? I mean, what do I do to get rid of it?
George, let us give you a lesson in algebra.
Huh?
Okay, George. There are 3 types of algae common to swimming pools. Green algae is the most common. The yellow or mustard variety can form as a film on pool walls and steps. That's yours, George. And the big, bad black stuff, black algae.
Yeah, but, I mean, what is it?
Algae is a plant, George, a microorganism that grows when there's insufficient chlorine in the water.
Well, but can I get rid of it?
Sure you can, George, if you attack it properly. To kill green algae, first you have to check the pH and adjust it to 7.2 to 7.6. Then shock treat your pool. For most cases, we use socket to kill algae. We apply it at the rate of 2 ounces per 1,000 gallons. Add it to the water at the deep end of the pool with the pump and filter running.
Then brush the sides and bottom of the pool, like this. This is a vinyl pool, so we're using an HTH soft brush for vinyl. Be sure to use an HTH stainless steel brush if your pool is concrete. Mustard algae requires thorough scrubbing of the algae growth. Start at the top and sweep all the way to the bottom toward the main drain. Brush especially around the corners of the steps. Wait a day, then vacuum the bottom carefully. Test for free available chlorine and shock treat again if necessary.
For a stubborn case that keeps coming back, you can use HTH concentrated mustard algicide. Follow the label directions and remember to keep the pump running. You got all that, George?
Gotcha. Piece of cake. Hey, could I borrow your brush?
Sure, George.
Thanks a million. Bring it right back.
Now the most stubborn case of algae is black algae. It's most common in concrete or plaster pools, less common in vinyl liner pools like ours. If you have black algae growing on horizontal surfaces, use HTH Super Black Algicide to kill it, but never use this product on a vinyl liner pool. Add it to your concrete pool directly over the algae growth, following directions on the label. Wait at least 8 hours, then brush vigorously with an HTH concrete wall brush and vacuum up any residue.
In the event we get black algae in our vinyl liner pool, we shock treat with socket, directing it as close to the algae spots as possible. Brush immediately afterwards and vacuum any residue.
Now there are preventive things you can do on a routine basis to keep algae from forming. Here's HTH All-Purpose Algicide. You can use it regularly in your pool.
Right, but if an algae problem does develop, the first step is to shock treat your pool with socket. There's nothing stronger or more effective, although you can also use HTH concentrated non-foaming algicide in addition. Follow directions on the label. Where's George?
Probably working on his algebra.
Oh, well.
We've been talking about water chemistry and how to keep your pool sanitized and sparkling clear. But here are a few routine maintenance steps you should follow.
Simple steps for taking care of your pool and your equipment that will help the chemistry work for you.
First, use an HTH leaf skimmer net like this to get large leaves and debris off the surface of the water. Be particularly careful, though, to get debris off the bottom before you vacuum. Otherwise, it could clog your lines.
Your skimmer basket collects dirt and debris. It should be removed and cleaned at least once a week. Removing collected debris will let skimmers work their best.
Your pump should be operating long enough each day to keep the water clear. Clean the hair and lint trap weekly. And remember, never put any chemicals in it.
Now for vacuuming. Be sure to have the proper vacuum head for your type of pool. This one's for pools that have a vinyl liner, and this one's for plaster pools.
Here's a tip. It's not necessary to brush pool walls before vacuuming. Brushing stirs up fine particles that take hours to settle, and the small amount of debris that would be removed by brushing is taken off by the main drain. Very little dirt attaches to pool walls.
Now, attach the hose to the vacuum head. Submerge the vacuum at the deep end of the pool. Then, extending the handle so you won't lose it, push the hose straight down like this till it's completely underwater and full. You can tell it's full when no bubbles come out and water runs out of the hose. Then cap your hand over the end to keep air out and water in. Feed it into the skimmer and plug it into the cap that lets your skimmer work as a vacuum, like this. Then you won't have to wait for air to get out of the vacuum line before it can begin to work for you. If your pool has a main drain valve, close it to increase the suction.
Here's a tip. If you squirt some tile soap on the water, you can see the bottom better to get the dirt up. Okay, start vacuuming at the skimmer and work from the wall down to the center and back again. Go right around the pool and finish back at the skimmer again. This keeps the hose out of your way as you go. Now be sure the vacuum head stays flat on the bottom so it picks up all the debris. Now when you're finished, lift the vacuum head out of the water and lay the pole on the deck. The pump will quickly remove the water from the hose, which will then float on the surface. Unplug the hose from the skimmer and place it back into the pool. Next, disconnect the other end of the hose from the vacuum head, coil it up, and it's ready for storage. Be sure to open the main drain after you're done.
Here's another tip. If the vacuum slows down and doesn't seem to be sucking properly, check your hair and lint trap. Clear it if necessary. Then check the filter. If the pressure's up, you may have to clean it. Look at the pressure gauge, and if necessary, backwash your DE or sand filter, or remove and hose off your cartridge, as we showed you in Chapter 1.
Scrubbing your tile, or vinyl like ours, is another part of good pool maintenance. We use this HTH tile and vinyl cleaner to make ours sparkle like the water. Scrub just at the water line. It helps remove scum and body oil that collects there. Use a side-to-side and up and down motion, and then use a leaf skimmer to remove any debris that may have collected from the brushing.
When you hose down your deck, it's important to direct the hose spray so you push wash water away from the pool and onto the grass. This keeps dirt and debris from getting into the pool.
I'm using an HTH wall brush for vinyl pools, like ours, to scrub the walls and bottom. It has rounded corners with no sharp edges and soft bristles that won't scratch or wear the liner. Brushing helps keep the pool from getting stained and keeps algae off the walls. Now start just below the tile and go all the way to the bottom with one clean sweep. Always brush towards the main drain. Go around the entire pool and be especially careful around jets, lights, and corners or steps. That's where algae loves to grow. You should brush the bottom of your pool at least once a week. Do this after you've finished vacuuming, though. Otherwise, you'd just be stirring up debris you're trying to get at with the vacuum.
And remember, use an HTH leaf skimmer to get rid of any debris floating on the surface after you've finished all your scrubbing and brushing.
And be sure your filter is left running after you brush to pick up debris you've just loosened. Use your equipment as often as necessary. You may have to use the leaf skimmer daily.
Vacuuming and brushing can be done as needed, but remember, leaves can stain your pool badly, so don't neglect to remove them whenever you see any in the water.
Hi, hello over there. Say, I'm just returning your HTH algae brush that I borrowed from Chapter 4.
Thanks, George, but George, it's not a good idea for you to leave your equipment on the deck like that. You might trip on it.
Oh, George, are you all right?
Yeah, sure, I'm fine. That was kind of dumb, wasn't it?
Well, George, that's why it's important never to leave your pool equipment on the deck after you've finished using it.
Yeah, now you tell me.
We were just about to explain about storing equipment. It's important to take your cleaning equipment away from the pool deck immediately after you've finished using it. That's to avoid accidents, George.
And store your equipment properly right away so it's clean and ready for use again, okay?
Fine. Well, next chapter coming up.
In this chapter, We're going to show you how to prepare your pool when warm weather arrives with swimming season coming up.
When you follow these simple steps, keeping the water chemistry of your pool in balance during the season will be a lot easier.
Right. Now, the idea is to get your pool as quickly as possible to the point where all you have to do is follow regular maintenance procedures.
There are 5 basic steps to follow.
And the same steps apply no matter what type of pool you have, above ground or in ground, concrete or vinyl.
First step, we prepare the pool itself.
If your pool has been covered, remove water and debris from the cover before you take it off. Then remove and clean the cover, let it dry, and store it in a clean, dry place.
Use a leaf rake, like this, to remove any large debris from the pool. Sticks, leaves, things like that.
If the water is low, bring it up to the proper level. Fill it to the depth recommended by the manufacturer. In most cases, this will be up to the middle of the skimmer. It's important to keep the water at a level where surface debris can be trapped. Since water evaporates and gets carried or splashed out by swimmers, you'll have to add water from time to time, especially if you don't get much rain.
Now, second step, hook up and turn on your pump and circulation system. Check the filter, skimmer, bottom drain, and if you have one, the heater to make sure everything is working according to manufacturer's directions.
It's important to prime your pump fully to operate without damaging the motor. Here's what to do. First, make sure the switch is turned off. Then put enough water in the lint trap to fill the pipes. Use a hose like this, then quickly replace the lid and turn on the pump. Try not to let any air into the system. This will cause it to lose prime and damage the motor. If your pump lid is a clear one, watch to see if water is being pulled through from the suction side of the pump. The volume should increase until full prime is achieved. If it doesn't have a see-through lid, check the return jets at the side of the pool for bubbling action. Then you're all set.
This is a good time to vacuum the pool, to remove any remaining dirt from the walls and the bottom.
It's also a good idea to brush down the pool walls at this time. Check Chapter 4 for the complete technique.
Okay, third step, and a very important one, balance the water's chemistry. And be sure to do it with the circulation system running.
Test and adjust the pH to 7.2 to 7.6 as we showed you in Chapter 2. Now remember, you'll need to do this test daily, and be sure you have new reagents for your test kit.
When your pH is in the proper range, 7.2 to 7.6, test for total alkalinity. The total alkalinity should be 60 to 100 parts per million if you use HTH dry chlorinator as your primary sanitizer, or 90 to 125 parts per million if you use stabilized chlorine sanitizer.
We add HTH alkalinity plus adjuster if it's too low, or HTH pH minus if it's too high. You should do this test every week. Rewind to Chapter 2 if you need a refresher.
Now test for calcium hardness. The range for HTH dry chlorinator users is a minimum of 200 parts per million to as high as 1,000 parts per million, depending on water hardness conditions in your area, or 200 to 500 parts per million if you use a stabilized chlorine sanitizer. When our hardness is lower than 200 parts per million, we add HTH calcium plus adjuster, according to label directions.
And now the fourth step, superchlorinate your pool. We add HTH dry chlorinator at a rate of 1 ounce per 1,000 gallons of water. We are aiming for a final free available chlorine level of between 1 and 3 parts per million.
Test the water and superchlorinate again if necessary.
The fifth and final step is optional, to stabilize the water by adding cyanuric acid, especially if you're using a stabilized chlorinator as we discussed in Chapter 2. After that, be sure to test and readjust your pH again.
And now your pool is ready for easy routine maintenance and a coming summer of fun. My goodness, what was that?
It's George. What are you doing, George?
Oh, I'm getting ready to open my pool.
Oh, boy. We better straighten him out quick.
I'll say.
What, something wrong?
Yes,
No,
George.
George.
Look, George, we just went through this.
About opening your pool properly?
So we'll just send you right back through it all, okay?
Huh?
Hang on, George. Here you go. When the swimming season is over, it's important to close your pool correctly.
It'll save you extra work and chemicals when you open up again for the next season.
There are somewhat different needs for closing your pool depending on whether winters are more or less severe or more or less mild where you live.
If you live in a climate where water doesn't get cold enough to freeze, you can keep your pool open all year. As the weather gets cooler and your pool is used less, it will need far less maintenance.
But if you live in an area where you get severe winters, where freezing water may damage your plumbing, here's what you should do. This time, there are 7 steps to follow.
Step 1 is to completely clean your pool, skimming, vacuuming, and brushing thoroughly.
Step 2, test and adjust the pH to 7.2 to 7.6, as we showed you in Chapter 2.
Step 3, you need to shock treat your pool with socket and follow the label directions to winterize your pool. Or you can use a winterizing dose of HTH dry chlorinator. That is 6 ounces to 1,000 gallons of pool water. This will make sure any contaminants still in the water are eliminated.
Step 4, run the filtration system for 24 to 48 hours.
Step 5, add algicide. We use HTH all-purpose algicide following the directions on the label. That'll help prevent algae from forming during the time you're not using the pool. Run the pool for 1 or 2 hours to circulate the water.
Step 6, lower the water level according to your manufacturer's instructions. Shut off and drain the filter pump and the heater. Drain all the plumbing, and here's a tip, add pool antifreeze. Then seal to keep water out so ice accumulation doesn't crack the pipes.
And finally, step 7, put on a pool cover to keep out dirt, leaves, and other debris.
If your pool isn't being used for a couple of months or so, it's a good idea to use a pool cover, even though you don't have to close the pool down completely. It'll save you a lot of work and pool chemicals by keeping dirt and sun out of the water.
Now, if you live in milder climates, you can cut filter time in half, and you can reduce water testing to once a week. But remember to keep pH between 7.2 and 7.6 and free available chlorine between 1 and 3 parts per million.
If you don't cover the pool, be sure to clean the skimmers once a week to prevent clogging, and vacuum the pool surfaces when necessary. That reduces the need to chlorinate so often.
But if you put a cover on, be sure to shock treat the water first with socket.
Remember, always follow your pool manufacturer's instructions for care during this time. Uh-oh, here we go again. Now what?
George, what are you doing, George?
Hi, neighbors.
What's that for, George? What are you doing?
Oh, I'm getting the leaves out of my pool for the winter.
That's not the way, George. We've got to take proper precautions for winter months.
Otherwise, you could damage your pool severely.
Huh?
What do you think?
Take him back and send him through it again.
Okay, George, dear, take that thing off. We're going to help you and your pool.
Well, gee, thanks, I think.
Okay,
Whoa, 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 whoa!
At the beginning of each pool season, it's a smart idea to establish some rules for safety.
It's best for everyone's enjoyment of your pool.
So here are some important safety rules to follow. Install sturdy fencing around the pool area to help prevent unsupervised children and pets from entering the pool. A fence may be mandatory in your community.
Mark the pool to identify the shallow areas for children and clearly mark the deep areas, too.
Always have a qualified swimmer present when children are using the pool.
No running around the pool.
Keep glass and other breakables from the pool area.
Move immediately indoors for the duration of any thunderstorm.
When handling chemicals, always carefully seal chemical containers immediately after use.
Do not use the contents of an unlabeled chemical container.
If you choose to pre-dissolve your chemicals and add them to your pool through the skimmer, always use a thoroughly clean, dry bucket. Fill it with water first, then dissolve only 1 chemical at a time per bucket. Always add the chemical to the water. Never add water to a chemical. And never, ever mix chemicals.
Be sure to store all chemicals in a cool, dry place away from the pool area and out of reach of children. Keep them in a pool house in a cabinet that's bolted to the wall. If it should tip over, your chemicals could spill and mix, causing a fire or an explosion.
And never store liquid chemicals above dry chemicals.
Wash out a container when it's empty, then dispose of it according to the directions on the label.
Dispose of any spillage carefully as directed on each label, preferably into the pool.
Don't use a vacuum to clean spilled chemicals.
If you should get some chemical on your hands, immediately wash it off. If you get some in your eyes, immediately rinse copiously with water for 15 minutes and have someone call a physician at once. The first minute counts.
If chemicals are accidentally swallowed, follow emergency directions on the product label. Immediately call a physician, emergency response facilities, or your poison control center. Have these phone numbers posted near your facilities or your pool.
Keep a good first aid kit near the pool and keep it out of children's reach.
Keep an artificial respiration guide with the first aid kit. Make sure your family knows its procedures in case of emergency.
These are all important safety rules you should remember.
Be sure to follow them. Don't let carelessness or a thoughtless moment spoil your fun this summer. George, hi.
Oh, hi, neighbors. I just bought this HTH granular to superchlorinate my pool.
George!
Huh?
George, get rid of that cigarette.
What? Huh? What? Oh.
Never smoke, George, when you're handling pool chemicals.
And never leave a chemical container uncapped.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, thanks a lot. Say, look, I was just wondering, could I borrow your HTH scoop?
Of course, George. Right after we...
In this chapter, we're going to show you how to take care of your spa. Now, basically, spas present water chemistry problems very similar to pools.
Of course, if your spa is attached to your pool and flows continuously into it, there's nothing special you need to do about its water chemistry, except be sure to maintain an adequate level of free available chlorine.
But if your spa is separate, like ours, the water needs regular, careful treatment to keep it sanitary and clear.
That's because water temperature is much higher in a spa, usually 100 to 104 degrees Fahrenheit compared with the average 78 to 85 Fahrenheit in a pool.
That not only causes bathers to perspire more, but it can encourage growth of bacteria and algae.
And this can lead to discomfort because the high water temperature makes the skin more susceptible to irritation.
On top of that, spa water is usually pumped around the system with high velocity and aeration.
Not to mention the bather load. 3 or 4 people in a spa is the same as 150 to 200 people in the average backyard pool.
So the water chemistry balance can be disrupted drastically and often.
And since disinfecting is important, you should take some simple precautions and keep the water's chemistry properly balanced to get full benefit from your sanitizer.
Frequent testing is a must. Tests for pH and free available chlorine really should be done before and after every use, or at least once a week.
Be sure you have an HTH test kit that lets you test for pH, total alkalinity, calcium hardness, and free available chlorine. For a look at how to perform these tests, just watch what we showed you in Chapter 2.
Your pH should be maintained at 7.2 to 7.6. Above that, the water is too basic or alkaline, and below that, it's too acidic. Spa water that's too basic gets hazy, and the effectiveness of your sanitizer is reduced. It may also encourage the formation of mineral scale on the spa surface, water lines, and even clog the filter.
If water is too acidic, it can irritate the skin and the eyes and corrode metal parts too. To adjust the pH, we use HTH pH Plus to raise pH and HTH pH Minus to lower it. Refer to your spa manual for your gallon capacity so you can calculate the proper chemical dosages from label directions.
Next, keep the total alkalinity level of your spa water in the proper range. That also helps keep the water's pH right, too. A total alkalinity level of 60 to 100 parts per million is most effective if you're using HTH concentrated spa chlorinating granules. If it's too low, a treatment with HTH alkalinity plus will raise the level and also establish a buffer in the water to help keep your pH in the proper range. Or if total alkalinity is too high, add HTH pH minus according to label directions and test again.
Keep calcium hardness in the spa between 200 and 1,000 parts per million. Below that, the water can become corrosive. Too high and you'll get cloudy water, scaling and staining. We use HTH Calcium Plus to raise the calcium hardness level. But there's really only one effective way to lower it. Partially drain the spa and add fresh water and retest.
Now, regular sanitation is vital to the healthful enjoyment of your spa. You can use either HTH concentrated spa and hot tub chlorinating granules. This has stabilizer in it, or an HTH bromine spa capsule. Each one works just fine. Use whichever you prefer.
To add these granules, simply broadcast them across the surface of your spa. Do it while the pump is running. Using your test kit, you should maintain a level of free available chlorine at 1 to 3 parts per million. A good way to be sure you have this ideal level is to dose your spa to 5 parts per million just before getting in.
And do it afterwards, too. That'll help get rid of unpleasant chlorine odor from chloramines and keep bacteria and algae at bay. Follow directions and never, ever mix any chemicals. The HTH bromine spa capsule is really convenient. It's pre-filled and has adjustable settings. The capsule signals when it's empty, and then you simply throw it away. You can put the spa capsule in your skimmer or just let it float in your spa. When you use the HTH spa capsule, be sure and refer to the directions on the label for correct instructions. We recommend you use the HTH 3-way spa test kit if you use the HTH spa capsule to sanitize your spa. Unlike swimming pools, spas should be drained, cleaned, and refilled at least once every 60 days, depending, of course, on how often you use it. The water eventually will become dull or cloudy from use, dust, chemicals, and evaporation.
When you're starting with fresh water, add the appropriate dose of HTH concentrated spa and hot tub chlorinating granules to circulating water to give you a free available chlorine level of 4 to 5 parts per million. Then after 5 minutes, you should retest, and if it's still below the proper level, repeat the application with the pump running.
From then on, when you're using the spa on a regular basis, turn on the pump and, with the water circulating, add the recommended dose, scattering it over the water surface so you maintain a free available chlorine level of 1 to 3 parts per million.
Now here's another thing about spas. The agitation of spa water can produce excess foaming, and though some people enjoy bubble baths, not many of us think a spa is a place for foam. So we use HTH defoamer to break up and banish those pesky bubbles. You see, it works like this. Follow directions on the label.
For cloudy water, adjust the pH to 7.2 to 7.6, and if necessary, add HTH clarifier according to directions on the label.
If you find you're having algae problems, we recommend HTH concentrated non-foaming algicide. Use it according to label directions. Oh, by the way, don't use HTH all-purpose algicide in your spa. It can cause foaming.
For stains and scale, use HTH stain and scale controller on a routine basis. It prevents the white ring around the tub caused by mineral buildup at the water line, and it can also be used to prevent some metal stains.
HTH tile and vinyl cleaner is great for removing that routine ring around the tub caused by grease and dirt. Clean it thoroughly with HTH tile and vinyl cleaner.
Remember, though, keeping the water chemistry right is really important treatment for your spa.
But if you test regularly and keep the water chemistry balanced, you'll soak away stress and strains with hours of relaxing in the clear, clean waters of your spa.
Happy spying! You know, we've told you how over 10 years we've come to prefer HTH products from Olin.
And we want to tell you about some other helpful things they bring us.
First, there's this handy HTH Pool Care Guidebook. It's easy to read and understand. And Olin has a toll-free pool care hotline. Just call 800-222-2348. We call it whenever we need some extra help and advice.
And then there's this, Pool Life magazine. It's read by over 2 million satisfied pool owners every year. It has entertaining articles on pool and spa care, recreational and leisure activities, and it also has money-saving coupons for HTH products.
You can receive a free copy of Pool Life magazine and the HTH Pool Care Guidebook by mailing in the postcard included with your video cassette. I hope we've helped make good pool care a little easier and more meaningful for you.
We've learned a lot since we began taking care of our pool. And we hope that you have too from our video pool care guidebook. We enjoy our pool.
And we hope you enjoy yours just as much. Shall we?
Of course.